Hey everyone, it's Justin. Thank you for watching and welcome to my house. It's time for ServiceNow Store Highlights version 04072023 or SSH version 04072023. And let's hop right to it. I've got a little bit calmer of a menu here for you today. We have in total, let's see here, 45 applications that were updated since our last episode. Only 4 of those are new releases. I've got 14 highlights to run through with you. There were 8 compatibility updates. Makes sense. We're starting to see some compatibility updates since Utah's been out now for a while. 5 fixes and this is the really sad episode. 14 release notes fails. You're going to see it's mostly one company. I'm not going to say their name because I'm not trying to call anybody out. But let's take a look at those release notes fails and run through them real quick. Capital planning, connected workspace DSE, guardrails, IBM Guardian, data protection, mobile platform, NetBrain automation integration, Nuvolo platform service. I said I wasn't going to say their name, but I did. OT security DSE, portfolio management, real estate asset management, service channel facilities management, and space. Still love the name of that application, but there's no good release notes, so I can't tell you anything about these apps. There's no good release notes, or the release notes are the same release notes as the last time. Let's take a look then at compatibility updates. We have 8 of those. You can see them here. CG4 asset tracking, data content manager, DocWorks, iDefense, dynamic vulnerability, risk prioritization. Let's see what the rest of that says. Risk prioritization or priority. Oh, come on. Here we go. Risk prioritization. So is the rest of the word that I already said. New Rocket Orbit content management system, project space, quantum metric embedded replay, and Stave Buy It for Amazon Business. All had compatibility updates to Utah. Some of those were difficult to find, but I did figure out that that's what was going on. Otherwise, it would have been release notes fails, but I noticed that the version had changed, or the Utah got added in the latest patch. Next is going to be fixes. There were a couple of fixes there, 5 of them to be exact, so let's take a look at those. Armor Point, New Lab Resource Manager, Recorded Future for Vulnerability Response, Securonics app for Security Incident Response. Let's hover over that one. Yep, I got it right. And Vulnerability Response Patch Orchestration with Tanium. All had little minor bug fixes. So let's get to the good stuff now. The new releases, we had 4 of them. 3 of them are from our Nuvolo friends, so let's take a look at them there. Capital Projects lets you run all your programs and projects fully integrated into the connected workplace. Let's look at the key features here. Project intake, baselining, task management, Gantt charts, requirements, resource plans, risk and issue management, budgets and expenses, change orders, contracts, purchase orders, invoices, stakeholder management, status reports, meeting minutes, permits, and punch lists. We do have some screenshots for what that looks like. So here's a capital program with the related list down there below. Let's go next. We see an actual project. And all the project information looks a little bit like ServiceNow's projects. There is the Gantt chart showing a timeline for the different pieces of this particular project, and back to the program demo piece. So nice 3 screenshots there from Nuvolo on capital projects. Our next new release, also from Nuvolo, is going to be Space-DSE. This is space management as part of the connected workplace for DSE environments. I'm scanning and looking to see if I can figure out what DSE means. I don't see it yet. Key features are a domain separation extension. Okay, so that's what DSE means. Domain separation extension to the Nuvolo space. So it looks like a helper app for their space app that we saw there in the previous screen. So that's what's new from Nuvolo. They do have some screenshots. Let's take a look at those screenshots here. There's some reservations around space reservation. There's a reservation of floor plan. Looks nice there. Space demand, looking at demand forecast for the planning year of 2021. And then back to the space reservation form there for domain separation extension. All right, next up is going to be transaction management, also from Nuvolo. This is execute and track your real estate strategy and transactions. Key features are integration with portfolio management, transaction preparation actions, market analysis and due diligence, test fitting and site selection, cost benefit analysis and capital appropriation request creation, negotiation analysis, approvals, and closing and abstracting. We do have some screenshots on this one as well. There's a list of requirements. on a transaction. Next one is going to be also a transaction showing the market engagement tasks, request proposals, analyst outcome, current lease review, comparative analysis. Here we've got the negotiation and due diligence tasks, actions to current landlords, business review, final project and lease costs, lease terms negotiations. And lastly, the approval cycle tasks. These are tasks assigned to people for the approval cycle. Let's see. Yep, that's all of the screenshots and our last new app from Nuvolo team, Transaction Management. Next is going to be xtype View. This is a platform engineering dashboard. Key features are see all scoped apps, store apps and plugins deployed across all instances, including version numbers and the ServiceNow release versions. Quickly identify differences between instances, missing plugins or apps or different versions of apps or plugins or different ServiceNow release versions. And all scoped apps, store apps, and plugins are automatically enumerated and tracked. No need for manual, error-prone spreadsheets. That's a nifty sounding little app. Let's take a look at two of these screenshots here. That's the xtype View showing, looks like scoped apps, store apps, and plugins. Now showing that we can filter, some quick filters there for missing different names or different versions. And it looks like, if I'm reading this right, these are the ServiceNow instances. So someone has a demo QA, a demo dev 2, a demo dev 1, and a demo prod, and they're looking at the different versions across those different ServiceNow instances. And there's a video, so two pictures and a video. I'm not going to click on the video, but that is the last new release from xtype.io Ltd. That called xtype View. So the next part of our episode is going to be the highlights. Let's go ahead and pull those up here. App View X is the first on the list, updating to version 23.03.1. And I had to stare at this for a minute to figure out what got added. And the way I figured it out is I went and looked at the previous one, and the supported CA stopped at EJBCA. So what's been added in this release for April 3rd is GoDaddy and Sectago. So that seemed like it was worth mentioning. Everything else you see on that screen is the same as the last release. Next up is going to be Armis Incident Integration to version 1.0.816. This is a update to introduce some enhancements for compatibility with the Armis SIR add-on, as well as an improved guided setup user experience and Roam compatibility, minor enhancements, inline guided setup forms, and improved embedded help and guided setup user experience from the team at Armis Inc. That's Armis Incident Integration. Next on the list is going to be BT Request Management Integration to version 1.8.7. They added new catalog items to the application, but there is no changes to functionality. New catalog items sound good, so thank you, British Telecommunications team, for that update. Collaboration calendar from the Innovation Lab, updated version 1.5.0. Change tables with date, calendar date, and schedule date time type fields have been included for import, and fixed an issue in series events for until operator. So that's new from the collaboration calendar from the Innovation Lab. Next is going to be Designer. The Designer is going to version 5.5.0, and yes, there is a lot in here. So I'm just going to read through the titles there. Load dependencies, enhancements to APM, hierarchy maps, new ways to access and edit presentation modes, URL extensions, application menu entries, shape library and shapes, application cross-scope privileges, improvements to the adjustable default canvas size, performance, real-time indicators, filter performance, improved UI for references, multi-user approval, link UI, shape library cleanup, and for the Utah release, they've added support for Utah UI changes, so you can stay up to date with the latest features and improvements, and you can see a nice, healthy list of bug fixes in this particular release. I would say release notes of the episode so far, Designer, you are in the running for the best release notes. Thank you for that. Version 5.5.0. From the INS-PIGMBH. Just a bunch of letters. I don't know what any of that means. I can't pronounce it. Okay, next is going to be Email Builder from Thirdera to version 2.1.7, updates to the application file protection policy. So that's what's new in this release from Thirdera. Next is a feedback app. Version 2.2.5. I love the emojis in this one. It's so awesome, even though this is technically a bug fix. Fixed an issue with attachment not showing in the feedback record. Based on user feedback, we have added one new feature in this release. Strong arm emoji. It is now possible to select thumbs up, down when submitting feedback, except of stars and smileys. So I think what they're saying, what they're trying to say is stars, smileys, or a thumbs up, thumbs down is how you can have users respond with feedback. And they said, thank you for all using the feedback app. We appreciate all the feedback you give us. Isn't that ironic? The feedback app, people appreciate the feedback that they get on their app. Okay, maybe I just find that funny. But anyways, good release notes from the Automize AS feedback app team. Next on our highlights, Flexera integration. This is going to be another long one. 5.1.117. Performance improvements, platform support for Utah, general improvements, alternatives using default as system for updates and inserts, read access to Flexera scoped app tables, improved logging and details related to fixed scripts, added time and volume measurements for, let's just stick with that, added time and volume measurements, added performance summary and performance metrics, platform support for IT visibility and data platform integration, Utah, and looks like it's going to repeat the same thing that we just read up there, and some bug fixes. Okay, fix a potential issue, might cause records to be incorrectly created, resolved an issue that could cause imports to get stuck, and resolved an FNMS issue that could potentially cause computers that have the same serial number to get matched to the wrong CI. So big, it says minor release, but there's a lot in there. Good release notes from the Flexera team on the Flexera integration. Up next is going to be Instance Health from Advania Sverige AB, version 5.3.4, new Instance Health workspace, new checks, and existing check fine-tuning and enhancements. So that's what's new from Instance Health. Next is going to be Learning Core. Looks at Learning Core by ServiceNow to version 7. New email notifications of learning tasks and support for career assessment. That's what's new in the Learning Core app. Next update is from PagerDuty for real-time operations to version 7.9.1. Run an incident workflow from within the ServiceNow incident record, provisioning enhancements, and bug fixes in this minor release from PagerDuty. Next on our highlights, Swiss Tool by ActiveAG, version 1.3.6, improved handling of tabs and related lists when being shown/hidden dynamically. So another little patch fix from ActiveAG for Swiss Tool. Next on the list is VC Connector. Version 1.1.2 includes updates authorization code for compatibility with VRA 8.10 and minor code updates and error handling in that patch release for VC Connector. Next and last on the list is going to be from the VMware team. This is VMware vRealize Automation ITSM application 8.11.2. That's the first time I've seen a version number in the application title. You see that, everybody? At least first time I've seen it. Not that I've seen everything. Let's see. Version 8.112 features are support for data grid using YAML, enhanced support for add disk GCP Google Cloud Platform for day 2 actions, support for conditional read-only for day 0 catalog items, support for conditional default value for day 0, support for computed default value, and added telemetry support for VRA on-prem, and some minor bug fixes. So that's what's new. The rest of this is just repeated throughout the release notes on what all the features are in their app, but that's what's new for version 8.11.2 from VMware. That is the entire episode. All of the applications have been covered. Just for review, we looked at 45 applications. There were 4 new releases, 14 highlights, 8 compatibility updates, 5 fixes, and 14 release notes fails. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like, please subscribe, or share it with somebody who you think might be interested in what got updated on the ServiceNow Store. And until next time, don't forget to always be learning.